the chopsticks on her mouth, and she's going to the squeaky toe.
Oh yes, she's just head banging. Digita, digita.
That
That song is in my head.
That's where I've literally been living for the past 2 days.
That
I
song is in
mean,
my head
I'm
for
not
a good
even
reason.
kidding you. My dog, Astra, every single time I played Hagen in my room, if she's in the living room, she comes running to my room. She loves that man.
I mean,
So
I mean, who doesn't
got
really?
good taste. She's got good
She
taste.
does have
good taste.
Yeah.
That's a good song. You know?
Do you love it? Do you love Hagen? Yes, you do.
I mean,
Do you love Hagen?
I mean,
Yes, I do.
Yes,
yes,
I do.
Yes,
Yes,
I
I
do.
do.
Good evening.
Hey, you missed us. Aw,
That's so sweet.
we're here.
Yeah. Some people say we never go away.
Yeah.
Good luck.
You know, just like in life, we've managed to live longer. Some people on the internet think we've just been on the planet for too long.
How dare it?
Too bad for them.
How
I
dare
would
we?
guess to say that there are some people out there who are just like them still.
I know, but you know what? Stay pressed.
I know. Stay pressed. It's fine.
Stay mad.
We're already getting filtered unwanted comments, so that says something. I'm not even touching them. They're filtering themselves. I'm like, well, that can't be good. Shit. We haven't even been started for 7 minutes.
To be fair, sometimes it happens because of like repeated words,
Right.
like mundane things. So
I like that. I like that comment. Oh, the internet.
oh, the internet. Indeed.
Oh,
Oh,
that
the
internet.
Every day.
You know how that internet is.
It'd be interneting.
Okay.
The internet things.
Everybody wants
Alright,
to
let's
talk
go.
about the big news, so let's get going.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. We have a lot to talk about today.
Big week. Big week. Welcome to Army Project 529, our Sunday Night Live, where we go over the news and then we pick a topic and we dive into it. And today we are diving into Hobie.
We always.
Hobie.
Hold on for a bit and then we'll get to that big news and all the discussion around it. Let's introduce ourselves. Patricia, you go first. You're next to me. You go first.
Hi, I'm Patricia. I don't know how I got into this, but I got into this.
Fair.
I put together the map. So if you're trying to find somebody that is near you, you can go into our map on our website and just find people near you. And I'm the person behind that. I update it every day. So that's where we're at. And then I do various things like put agendas together last minute.
I think we all do that, man.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of like the
The
thing.
last minute panicking.
Oh, and I also have a camp in my house for concerts.
Yes. She writes blogs, guest blogs, and she does all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
next.
Quince is next to me, so Quince, you go
fuck,
next.
Sorry. Hey, I'm Quince. Sometimes I write the blog. I mean, all the times I write the blog, but sometimes. Anyway. Yeah, I write the blog, which is the reason that, or part of the reason that we started the project, Content and Community. And it was supposed to be a book club part of it. Basically, we 529 days in our name, Army Project 529. It's 529 days between January 1st, 2024 and Festa of 2025. And that was the 529 days that we thought we were going to have to fill because they weren't going to do anything while they were in the military. Wrong. But so we still decided to do it because we'd already committed.
We were well into it when we realized how wrong we were.
So we just decided, okay, let's just keep going. And so every week
We were like, how bad could it get?
they've been bad.
How much could they possibly do? They're gone.
So much.
Yeah.
So much. Turns out so much. But every week we release a new blog and we are chronicling BTS's discography chronologically along with the solo era that we currently find ourselves in. So each week is a new blog, and we drop them Monday morning. Yeah, that's what I do. I also run watch parties in our Discord. I edit most of everything that you see us produce. I am usually like one of the final people to like put my eyes on it because I am in fact a professional editor. And yeah, that's what I do. Also, I provide much needed sarcasm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's me.
Hi, I'm Christina, and I do work with Katie a lot of times for doing the designs and the merch, and I help out with the website. I also provide sarcasm for free.
For free.
For free.
All right,
I'm guessing she's done. I'm
I'm
done.
done.
I do the research here on the project, which basically means I watch an unholy amount of Bangtan content every week, and I organize my favorites into a list that gives sort of a storyline of kind of rough proportions that Lisa turns into the magic of the book. So that's really, and people who ask random questions on the server, like, where did this particular clip come from? More often than not, it's either myself or my team who are answering that question. So,
Yes.
I'm Katie. I got in here to help with the Discord server. I was like, oh, it'll just be a section of the Army in a Discord server, and then a lot happened from there. Yeah, I work honestly, I work with a little bit of everybody sometimes, but probably most often with Christina and Steph. And what else? Yeah, I help manage the Discord now. Anything that involves a spreadsheet, love it. Here for it. Yeah, website, merch stuff. Yeah, all of that good stuff is me. So.
And I am Stefne, and I do, I work mostly with the volunteers, our Envoy team, with the planning team for Kansas City, the external event kind of thing, stuff like that. And we've been going now for soon to be 54 weeks. We start our 54th week tomorrow or tonight at midnight, I guess.
Crazy.
We have a Sunday night live, which is tonight, and we have a Wednesday night live. Our Wednesday night live is over on YouTube. Should this app disappear from some of us, that's where this live will move. So you can go look for us over there. So you might want to go find us over there now so you can save us just in case. So
If you haven't already followed us over on YouTube, if you don't watch our Wednesday lives, which do you even AP529 if you don't watch our Wednesday lives? But if you haven't subscribed or whatever and done all that yet, please find us on YouTube because that's where this shit show will move to if all of this comes crashing down around us.
Yep. Somebody just asked, what's an envoy? And I want to answer that real quick. It's kind of a new thing, kind of Steph's brainchild. So we have a very small mod team on the Discord server that like we enforce the rules and set things up and stuff like that. We did not have like the welcome wagon, for lack of a better term. Just kind of the welcome wagon / kind of cruise director kind of people. The people that niche was not being filled. So that's what it is. It's people who have been around the project for a while. Can help people show people around the Discord, answer questions, that kind of thing.
Yes, like Jocelyn said. Yeah, because our server grew exponentially in a very small amount of time, and we found we were not prepared for it. So now we are.
So come on.
thanks to the Envoy team.
And on YouTube, we are the same name. We are Army Project 529 on YouTube.
Yep.
We perfectly solve problems right in time for the next one to crop up.
Yeah.
We're really good at that.
This is coming.
We are excellent at reacting.
I think the next influx will come if and when TikTok vanishes because people will be like, okay, that community's gone. Now we need to go into this community. We're ready for you.
Yeah, we're prepared for you.
Yeah.
Come join us ahead of time.
Yeah.
Wherever
Move all your stuff.
Does any single one of us have a Subaru, guys? I do not.
Subaru?
No.
What?
I drive
I'm full of Subarus.
No.
The links are in my bio if you guys need
I don't have a car.
I think I understand the implication, but
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know.
Oh, was that being clever?
I don't know. I can't tell. I figured I'd answer.
Oh, otherwise that's a really strange question.
It is a very
I drive
Yeah.
a
I recognize the screen name though. She's one of our newer Discord members, and she comes and hangs out.
Ooh.
Okay. Cool.
I'm going to
I couldn't
assume-
help, but no, I don't. I've been
Oh,
in the
somebody's
studio.
asking what
The
529 means.
529 is the 529 days before January 1st, 2024, when this project started. And Festa 2025, when we thought the project would end. It's probably not going to, but that's what the original plan was. So,
I laugh every time. Every time.
Definitely not going to because we have a whole ass meetup planned for a month later.
I know.
It's the never-ending
550
story.
something.
I mean,
Yeah.
the main
Right.
blog that we
Blog will end.
will end at the 529, and then we'll have like special edition blogs, but it's not going to be like the revolving every single Sunday at midnight or Monday at midnight. But it, that will change, but we'll still
We'll be
be
moving.
here and we'll be doing some more crazy stuff. At least and I will have a lot more time to get up to project shenanigans. So
Yeah.
Yes.
time.
Shenanigans galore.
Mm-hmm. And who knows what other things we'll involve ourselves in. We love to do that. We love to walk into a room and just get in the middle of it and go, what's this? This looks like fun. We should do this.
Let's do it.
Okay. Somebody just
I want to
mentioned,
have fun.
and
I like
it's
fun.
relevant. It's relevant to our next agenda topic. Somebody just said that they were at our event in September. So glad you could make it. I hope you had fun. I was going to say, please don't tell us if you didn't have fun, but really do tell us if there was a problem.
We did that from
Yeah, so
anybody.
far we haven't heard any bad feedback, but hopefully that.
Like seriously bad. Like I hated it. Nothing like that.
No, yeah. Of course, everything can be improved a little bit, but yeah, no, generally speaking, everybody had a good time. Anyway, back to the point. We are repeating and expanding that meetup again this year in July. It's called the Ma City Meetup. We are meeting again in Kansas City, Missouri. Why Kansas City, Missouri? Because it's basically at the center of the country where most of our population at the time that we planned it lives. Now we have a lot more people.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure that one out. But for now, it's in Kansas City, Missouri. And it's July 25th through 27th, I believe. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right at the end of July. So if you're interested in attending, you go to our website. Under the Connect menu, you'll see that there's a link for the meetup. The registration fee is $297. That's for 3 days of events and meals. So all of your meals are covered under that. And then you can book a hotel separately. We have a couple people right now who are looking for roommates because we are very low on single rooms right now. We have a lot of rooms left, not a lot, but we have more rooms left for double rooms. So if you'd like to reduce your hotel expenses, find a roommate. Again, we had total strangers room together last year, us included, and not a single complaint. We heard not a single bad issue came out of that. So
Yeah.
detailer. We right now the goal is to get our entire community or as much of our community together in one place. So we're not planning different meetups, of that scale in different locations. That's the only
Maybe
aim.
2027.
Maybe.
We'll see.
After-
Don't worry,
after the
Maybe.
I have been pushing for Atlanta since we're an airport hub,
Maybe.
but
Laughs,
yeah, so
hiding
just,
real
it's not
pain.
because we live in Kansas City. We live all over.
Yeah.
Two of us
None of
live
us live in
within
Kansas
a few hours of driving distance. All the rest of us have to fly in, so it's not like it's for us.
Yes.
We were trying to pick a
We
city
live
that
kind of
was
far.
affordable and had pretty good airport connections.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, it's because it has an international airport that's fairly accessible. And the physical cost of holding the event in Kansas City at the particular hotel we hold it at are in the 5 digits cheaper than other places. So it's much more cost effective and in the dead center of
Way
the
more
United
cost
States.
effective.
So.
We were all kind of a little mind blown when we discovered exactly how much more cost effective it was versus some of the other places.
Yes.
Even within Kansas
I
City,
know.
the hotel that we somehow lucked into.
Like,
And when I say we, the
5
planning team,
figures cheaper.
many digits cheaper. So anyway,
10 times over.
yes. Join us this year. We'd love to see you. And like I said, last year we did like a day and a half of events. This year we've expanded it to 3 days based on feedback. Everybody was like, it was so fun, but I wanted more. So
Yes.
we gave you more. And let's see. Yeah. So go sign up or go there to look for more information. And somebody said it's hard to find a roommate. Go post in the roommate thread. I know that there's 2 people who have posted in the past 2 days saying that they were looking for roommates. So go respond to one of them.
We are doing Kansas City again for all of
We are.
We are.
We are.
In July.
All right.
We're going to Kansas City, people.
If you
so
can't
nice
come
we
to
decided to
Kansas
do it
City-
twice.
That's right. Yes, that was an intentional choice to do it in July.
Chapter 2 of Kansas City is happening.
Mhm.
Also, if you can't come to
We're
Kansas
not
City,
going
or
shirtless.
If you can, no, we're not. If you can, and you just want to support what we do, the Discord, the blog, the map, the lyrics, there's a lot. There's big gestures vaguely. If you want to support all of that, because it is a lot of hours and we pay for subscriptions and web hosting, and yeah, it helps support what we do. You can either buy our merch, which Christina can talk about in a minute, or you can subscribe to our Patreon, which is just a monthly subscription. We offer it at a couple of different price points, up to $10 a month. So go check out more about that on Patreon, patreon.com/ArmyProject529, and we will do a shout out for some new subscribers at the end of the live.
Very cool. Yay. Sounds so professional.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, real quick. Merch design. So we have the way that Katie and I do it, and the way that the admin team does it really is we kind of just go where the dopamine takes us for designs. And so any purchase of merch helps support us, which is always appreciated. And right now we have sort of 2 things going on that are series that we're adding to. So we have the retro series, which is taking each member and putting them in an era. And we are just now finishing up 60s Gin Happy era. And so there's an original design right there that we all worked on. And the last one in the retro series is going to be Mr. Yoongi, and he will be a 2010 eras rocker. What that will look like, it's going to be good. What it'll exactly look like, I don't have it yet, but the pieces are starting to come together. So that's our retro series. And then we're also working on a motivational series because it is 2025, the year of Bangtan. We're all so excited. And the guys have said things over the years that have really been like little nuggets of wisdom that we wanted to put in pretty designs and then put on merch. So that's going to be our motivational series, and that's going to be coming real soon. And other than that, any designs that you can think of, like we will just be having conversations in the Discord sometimes, and somebody will be like, "Hey, you know that new Tay thing that just dropped today in the real pretty script font, the RêVÉ? How do you say that, Quince? Is it RêVÉ? RêVÉ. That would look. Somebody needs to do some merch, you know,
That's no accent.
Yeah.
that's related to that. And so sometimes we just get ideas out of the blue. So yeah. Yeah. So if you're interested though, ap529.com/shop is our shop. So yeah, come check it out.
I mentioned a few minutes ago this thing called the blog. So every week the blog comes out. We are in week 53 right now, about to hit week 54, as Stephanie just mentioned. This week is the first week of Yoongi. I mentioned that we are in solo eras. We finished up BTS's discography a while back, and we've been working our way through chapter 2 in the member solo eras. And we have dedicated a month to each member. And yes, it will be wrapping up right as they're coming back from the military. It's like it was dismal. It took a lot of finagling, you guys. It took a lot of finagling. But
That's true.
we had November, and then we had December, and now we are in Yoongi. And this week, our first week, and it's called Determined to Shine. And it is pre-debut, early BTS, and first mixtape, August D, Yoongi. So check that out if you haven't already. We had our watch parties. Big hit. Everybody loved it. Not the company. It was a big hit. Everyone loved it. It was a lot of fun. And we've had a lot of our new Discord members coming in and joining our watch parties, and are like, "Oh my God, you guys are just hanging out and doing this." And we're like, "I know, right? It's pretty cool." So people coming in, they're asking questions, they're having a good time. We got lots of new Army. So if you came and you had fun, you know, just let us know. And if you have suggestions, we're always, like Christina said, we're always willing to look at suggestions and consider them. That, and we will have our week 54 dropping at midnight ET tonight, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later.
Nice.
Okay, so we're about to go into our Bangtan news section, and then we're going to get into the meat of our topic for this evening. On Sundays, we tend to dive a little bit deeper into certain topics, and today we are talking all about Jungkook and the Hope on the Stage tour. We're going to talk about the tours, what that's looking like. We're going to talk a little bit about, you know, why we may not see tours and concerts in certain regions as often as other places. And we're going to talk about what the ticketing most likely looks like, based on experience from previous concerts, people who have purchased like Augusty DJ concerts, and what that process looks like, in the hopes of answering all your burning questions on how do I get tickets, how does this look, and what are the next steps coming up for us as Army as we wade into this new era of Bangtan being back and concerts being a thing. So, yay!
We are just excited as you are.
We are.
On the edge of our fucking seats, basically.
God
Because
bless.
some of us are going to get together again before Kansas City, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're starting with the news.
The news.
So, the news.
What's been going
Tangent
on?
order. We start with RM. Namjoon keeps giving us updates in Instagram. He posted a picture with excuse my pronunciation, Lee Dong-hui, which is a Korean actor and a singer who starred in the second highest grossing movie in Korean history, which is called Extreme Job. And he was also an idol. He was a member of a supergroup called MSG Wannabe. And he's also part of a group of celebrities, very much like the Wooga Squad. And one of his closest friends is EXO, Suho, and a bunch of other Korean actors. So they're kind of their own like band of friends.
Yeah.
So
That's
he's
cool.
like hanging with other folks and living other lives, like he put in that post. And he also went full on Namjooning on us, like quoting another book. And man, free Namjoon, please, because like if you don't know where that quote is from, it's from a book called Thoughts from Prison by an author. Yeah. When I tell you, give you a little bit of context, you're going to completely understand. The author of that book is called Young Bok Shin, and he was a political prisoner in South Korea for 20 years. And it's from a selection of letters that he wrote from prison to his friends and to his family. So, I mean, Namjoon even included for us an English translation, and the whole thing sounds like he really wants to get out of the military, like now.
We need more playing, you guys.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
he's like done and
Sending
done.
signals.
Namjoon
He's
is
like-
literally that meme right now. It's been 84 years.
It's been 84 years.
Yeah,
84
I mean,
years.
when
are not mixed ones, they're direct.
when Jin came out of the military, he told us like 10 years ago, this man feels that he's been there for 100 years. So I mean, like, get this man out already.
He was done before he enlisted. Let's be honest.
Free Namjoon.
We have a little bit over 100 days left. So I mean, but the poor man is just so done.
It's gonna go fast. We think
Yeah,
it's gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna go fast. No.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway,
Jen,
that's
are
so
you done?
far.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. That's for June.
For Jen, a new episode of Handsome Guys dropped. We still can't understand it if we only speak English, but we can look at him and
Pretty.
And he's still doing his little, anyway, sweater paws. Don't get me started. Okay. The ratings are really, really good. They get their highest ratings when he's on. So word around the street is they're trying to get him back a lot. Okay. As they should. Yes. Two Slick video on YouTube came out last night, and as if we were all on a shared Zoom call, they presented their PowerPoint presentations.
It was glorious.
It was fantastic. They raised their hand digitally, which was amazing. Beautiful, beautiful moments. They put their plans for the new year, and it was apparently filmed the same day they did their little decorating of Christmas trees and dropping of ornaments.
Yes.
And chasing each other's goods down and all of that, which was a lot of fun. And I think it was supposed to come out the day that Run Jin was going to come out the first time, but then the 7 days of mourning happened, and we know everything got pushed back a little bit. So it was delayed a little bit, but we got to celebrate New Year's twice. So who can complain? So I had a few favorite moments. Number one, because Sean was sitting next to me, and one of them was when Jen was like, "You're not clapping. You need to be clapping." And Jay was like, and Sean's like, "That's just like you." I'm the same way, because I will say, "I'm about to tell you something, and I need you to act appropriately. Like I need you to act like it matters." And he'll be like, "Okay, that's great." So I feel it. The thing that I also was kind of struck by him saying he didn't feel like he worked very hard in 2024, which I was like, on what scale of work? Because I didn't understand that. But he wants to work with passion in 2025, and he alluded that after a short break, he will be back to do whatever it is Army wants him to do.
Can I just say my favorite part of that episode was J-Hope saying, "Laughter brings you Hobie." To which Jin gives the fakest fucking laugh in the history of time. But J-Hope runs around the room and shows up in Jin's scene.
Yeah. It's that laugh he's been cultivating since he got out of the military. You know, every time he's on Run Jin, it's that laugh.
Right.
Yeah, that was so good. Amazing. But all I could think in that moment was, we laugh an awful lot, J-Hope.
Yeah.
We do.
That PowerPoint presentation, it managed to say so much and yet so very little, which brava. It was just like every meeting I've ever been to where you're being forced to watch a PowerPoint presentation where it's got so many bullet points and yet they all say kind of the same thing in just a slightly different way. And then
it could have been an email. It's
a meeting could have been an email. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
The graphics, you know. Woo!
And J-Hope's whole face the whole time was, "Why are we acting like this is a Zoom call when we're in the same fucking room?"
They were adjoining rooms. They weren't in the same room because you can hear a door.
Right.
You can hear a door close.
Yeah. But like, we're literally next door to each other, and we're just gonna do this.
So
anyway,
fine.
But yeah. Thank you, Jen.
Yes.
Sir Yoongi.
Yoongi. Mr. Min Yoongi, or you can call me Augusti or Suga, has completed 75% of his service, 160 days until we reunite with our Lotus Flower Min Yoongi. And I have to bring this up every time because I want to brag, but my birthday is on June 21st, and that's when he's supposed to get released. Happy birthday, me. I get an entire Min Yoongi for my birthday this year. Thank you very much. Not to brag.
Like, I'm not saying it's for me, but it's for me.
Exactly. And then Augusti's The Last was featured on Taiwan's national education radio program, Happiness at 60, in an episode on mental health. The host highlighted how Suga's lyrics resonate deeply as he shares his personal struggles. We know this. We definitely know this. And if you are reading the blog for Yoongi, which you definitely should be, Quince will definitely dig into that topic more. And when you go to the watch parties, we have discussions in between watching the videos about that as well. So it's a really cool thing for him to be recognized for that. So yeah, Yoongi, we love you.
I'm pretty sure
Love you,
I
Yoongi.
actually typed the phrase "lyrics resonate deeply."
Yes,
Number
because this is the deep man. Lots of thoughts,
deep thoughts with Yoongi.
deep thoughts.
Next,
All right,
Jimin.
next, Jimin.
So, as I've been saying for about 6 weeks now, Jimin has been quiet. I really scrounge, guys. I really scrounge. But I did find an interesting fun fact.
Luckily, his music isn't quiet.
Yeah, his music is not quiet. His music is performing excellently. The title song "Who" or the single "Who" from his album Muse last year is still kicking ass. Continually, he's not even there. So this week, the most notable achievement I could find, Who is expected to spend a 24th week on the Billboard Hot 100. So if it stays there for one more week, it'll tie with that 50-50 song "Cupid," which I think we all heard on TikTok for like a year straight.
Still
It's
going.
that big. So yeah, it'll tie with that song as the third longest running Hot 100 entry of all time among Korean acts.
Jimin.
I thought that was a fun fact. And then the other fun fact was that we've talked before about how Jimin, and this came up in the server last week actually, Jimin has talked before about how Taehyung of Big Bang is kind of one of his idols. That was somebody he looked up to when he was going into the music industry. So he did finally 2 years ago a collaboration with Taehyung called Vibe. That song came out 2 years ago too.
Look at me, look at me, look at me now. Look at me
That's
now.
such a
It's
good
a vibe. It is.
Even
Leather
BTS gets
pants
starstruck
that he's
because they're like,
doing the
but it's
walking.
Taehyung, and it's like, but it's Jimin.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That
that's our
video
Jimin.
was just it.
Yes. And Taehyung is his idol. So that made it even more special.
Yes.
Yes. So cool. Yay, Jimin.
Yay, Jimin Shi. All right. It's time for this bitch.
Here we go.
What did
Here
I
we go.
say? What did I say in our last live? Taehyung, what did I say? I said he'd been quiet. He's been too quiet.
Been too quiet.
What happens when he's too quiet? Comes out of nowhere at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Boom. RÉVÉ is coming for us, bitches.
RÉVÉ.
We got a promotional poster for RÉVÉ. And the sentence which means I dreamed. It's like the past tense of dream, or I dreamt, or something like I is the most logical translation because of the way that the word is conjugated, even though it doesn't have I in front of it. So it's like I dreamed or I dreamt, basically.
And now I'm thinking about Les Mis.
Right there. Yep. Yes, we went into there were a lot of Les Mis jokes. There were a lot of Les Mis jokes. So there's a sentence at the top of the poster that says, cette sensation de liberté que j'ai ressent à Paris, la butte instantanée, au sein, rêveuse, vous de regard de vie. And that means, some of my pronunciation was off, I'm rusty, but it means this sensation of freedom that I felt in Paris, the instant beauty, a scene, S-C-E-N-E, seen, S-E-E-N, through the eyes of thee. So, we all started immediately going, oh, what the fuck is it? What's it gonna be?
What the fuck is it? We all got
I
very
actually-
French.
What is it?
What is it?
Qu'est-ce que c'est? I actually melted down in French in the server in his channel. Stephanie wanted
It was
in the middle of it.
bold and caps locks.
Yeah,
and
Stephanie wanted in the middle of my meltdown in French and was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, because I freaked out because I saw I missed the Weverse alert and I thought I missed the message for chicken. And then I'm like, something in freaking French. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Morgan, yeah, Sophie and I were having a little tete-a-tete, but we were yelling.
That's very French.
But
Very
she
French
came,
of you.
This is my friend. We're having a tete-a-tete. And but she came in and she's like, "What is this?" And I was just like, "Bienvenue, Stephanie."
It was like 3 a.m.
It was literally like 4 o'clock in the morning.
For me.
Yeah. I was having a hot flash and I woke up. What can I say?
And I'm like, qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est? And then I was using the wrong word. I kept trying to say book, and I was like, un lit, which is bed, and then I said livre, which is freedom, and then finally, I got to livre, which is book. Sophie was like,
I leaned over to Sean and I was shaking Sean and I was like, Sean, how do I make symbols over letters? And he was like, nobody cares. It's the middle. I was like, but it matters.
Their letters have clothes, as Christina.
Bangtan is 24/7, Sean. Bangtan's 24/7. Come on.
Right.
Wake up.
Wake up, Sean. We have things to
Wake up.
I didn't know how to type
Wake up.
accent.
You have to teach
I
me.
don't know how to type the E with the house over it. I don't know what to do.
House. Okay, on mobile, it's really easy. You just hold down the letter on keyboard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You hold down the E and then the accent choices will show up above it.
Shit, I didn't know that. Okay.
Not on the desktop.
Learn something new every day.
Only on
On the
a
desktop, you'll just have E.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a way. Somebody knows. Anyway.
I just Google it every time and copy
Anyway.
paste it.
Yeah.
You can change your keyboard.
You can go to Google Translate and copy and paste it real quick too.
That's what I did for
with
something.
your accent. With your accent. Sometimes I just don't care. I don't write the accents, and I know what I'm saying. But anyway, long story short, we were having a meltdown in our server. We're slightly fine now, but so what is it? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Theories are abounding, but the most agreed upon is that it's probably a photo book. We got type 1 last year, but it's probably a photo book. But this one, probably, we think, going to be photos that were mostly taken by Taehyung, not photos of Taehyung, but ones that he took, because that sentence says, a scene seen through the eyes of V. So basically, and that made me think of him with a camera. We know he likes to take photographs. So we think that it probably done, obviously, like when he was in France 2 years ago for that extended trip. We know he was filming Winter Ahead while he was there. And this is likely the same time. If you go back to his Instagram during that time, especially go around like November-ish of 2022, you will see he has pictures, he has a long video with a bunch of stuff from that time. So I would hazard a guess to say that these are context clues for what we could and you see a lot of footage with him with a camera where he's actively taking pictures of stuff. So I would say that those are some good clues for what is coming in this book. But it's gonna be art no matter what. So cool. Pre-orders, I believe, start on the 14th. I was so excited that I forgot to write down what day. I'm pretty sure it said the 14th for pre-orders, but I cannot remember what day it actually goes on sale. It's a few days after that, maybe the 17th, if I'm remembering correctly. But I'm 100%.
Pre-order is January 14th at 11 a.m. KST.
So it's 8 p.m. our time on the 13th.
Yeah.
If it's Eastern.
Yeah.
Which is
tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And then it will release on February 3rd. So
we haven't gotten to J-Hope yet. Give us a second.
Yep. Hold on. Yeah.
We're going
Kathy,
to get
we
to
got you.
J-Hope.
We got you, Kathy. No worries. No worries.
So
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to test this.
yeah, keep yourself peeled for that, because who doesn't need another coffee table book from Taehyung? We all do, right?
I just hope they make it the exact same size as the type 1 so y'all can put them together.
Yeah. Like
This
little
is my hope.
I'm at least hoping that like he took pictures of like pieces of glass and shit so we can at least see his reflection. Like
sure he's going to be in the book some, because
Selfies.
that
Yeah,
bitch
I mean,
is
like,
incapable
water
of not teasing us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he'll be in the book.
Yeah.
If he's not, I'll be super surprised. But yeah, I guarantee there's probably
Yes, mirror, Susie. You know what I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah, there you
mirrors,
go.
lots of mirror shots. Yeah. So that's Taehyung, Jungkookie,
Jungkookie.
Jungkookie.
Where's my Jungkook magnet?
Yeah, we skipped
Damn it.
J-Hope for a reason, by the way, guys, because we're gonna get to him. So Japan. We talked about this a little bit on Wednesday, but it bears repeating. He posted on Weverse earlier this week. In fact, it was on Wednesday. He wished Army a happy New Year. He said that he loves and misses us. Because of course he does. He hopes that the time goes by quickly until June when he can be with us again. This little sad. And he hopes that we don't get sick, but he knows that it's unrealistic to expect us to not get sick. So he hopes that when we do, it's not serious.
Jungkook. God bless it.
Fine.
Fine.
Okay, Jungkook.
Fine. It's
Where are
fine.
you?
Whatever. So that was cool. Jungkook is also the first Korean/K-pop soloist to achieve 2 billion streams, both with a group, with BTS for Dynamite, and as a soloist, although you could technically say that that's a duo, but it has a feature, but 7 in Spotify history. So he has a song that has over 2 billion streams, both as a solo artist and as part of a group. And he's the first K-pop artist to do so. Way to go, Jungkook. Let's see. Some quick stats from Spotify Premium. So as we just said, 7 has over 2 billion streams. It's at nearly 2.2 billion, in fact. Stand Next to You has 1.1 billion streams, or nearly 1.1 billion streams. Left and Right with Charlie, which is Charlie Puth featuring JK, has more than 1 billion streams. 3D featuring Jack Harlow has nearly 772,000 streams, and then Yes or No has 237,000 streams. So go, Jungkook.
Yes or no? Yes or no is my wake up morning song when I'm driving.
Oh,
Love
that's
that
cute.
song.
Aw.
All right. We've finally reached the section we've all been waiting for.
Obi!
We finally got
Obi!
it.
Up on the stage.
Hope on the stage!
We finally got the official announcement for the
And boy,
Hope
was it
on the
painful.
Stage tour.
Wow,
We've
somebody
been
spent a
waiting.
long time typing that up.
We've been manifesting this. Our pocketbooks have been crying in Provo. It's fine. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. This is delayed. His announcement for Hope on the Stage was delayed for many factors. We already talked about previous stuff being delayed due to the 7 days of mourning. And then this one was delayed largely due to the tragedy happening in California, which does appear like it's going to in some way affect the Los Angeles tour dates at the beginning of April, which is why we currently do not have information on what we're doing with the tour yet on Weverse, because they announced that information is being delayed until they figure out what they're doing with the Los Angeles venue in those tour dates. But that's why we had the delay on the Hope on the Stage tour announcement. But it was getting leaked everywhere from the delay. Like people forgot to stop their scheduled. People forgot to stop their scheduled articles and all of that nonsense, and it was getting everywhere. And then they were finally like, guys, we can't keep holding this because we don't have information.
Yeah,
because it's going out. So then they gave us the announcement on Weverse with that disclaimer about the North American details being delayed. However, this bitch is going to 15 cities, 31 concerts.
J-Hope, J-Hope.
For those of you who can't make it to the tour dates,
Oh Lord,
they
no,
did announce that the Seoul concert will be also live streamed.
yes.
So
We don't know when, and we don't know the details.
We don't know which ones. We don't know how much it'll cost or what it'll require, but they said that they will be live streamed.
yeah, so it's on the announcement for the Seoul concert where they were being told pre-order information, registration stuff. It does say on the Seoul poster that it is also a live stream event. We just don't have details yet for that.
Yes.
Also, he is scheduled. So if 31 concerts in 15 cities across multiple continents was not enough, he is also on January 23rd of the year of our Lord BTS. He is going to be at the La Gala de Teased 1. I was pretty close to that one.
Yeah, you were right. You were right there. So close.
So close. I was so close. I had Morgan try to help me earlier, but like I have an accent, so it's anyway. That is a gala. This will be the third year. It roughly translates into the Yellow Coins operation, the Operation Teased One, and it is the third year that they have used this as a fundraising event for the foundation and they are responsible for improving conditions of hospitalized children and adolescents. They have been around for 30 years. They have raised 96 million euros from multiple public and private entities and institutions and fundraising events. And this is the third year that they have put on this gala event concert. And so they have changed. They changed the venue from last year to this year in order to change the seating capacity from 15,000 to 35,000.
Because they know.
Because they're not. They know that this guy's going to be there.
Yeah.
So
So there is also another K-pop artist that's going to be there as well too.
yes, there's actually some very big name artists going to be there. It's not just J-Hope.
Yeah.
It is a stacked event as far as some very well-known, very talented artists are going to be there with him. But yeah, so it's a charity fundraising gala concert event. Tickets do go on sale tomorrow. So January 13th, which may be today since you guys live in the future. So those tickets are supposed to go on sale on January 13th. So I'm super excited for our army over there. But yeah, so that's happening in Paris, France on January 13th. And we're not saying that J-Hope may or may not appear at the Paris Fashion Week. However, the Paris Fashion Week is taking place January 21st through 26th this year, and the gala event in Paris is also January 23rd. So I'm just, we're not saying he's going to be there, but he's going to be in the city. We're not saying.
And also he's the ambassador for a brand that might also be there.
Right.
Skirt.
So
I want a
it's
skirt.
like, let's keep our eyes open because like
You never know.
pop
Skirt. I want a skirt.
Every time you say it, I'm
Just saying. Skirt.
That's what I think she keeps saying. Like,
manifesting.
I love that man in a skirt.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we
Okay,
do.
listen, I've seen a couple of comments on this, and speaking of tickets, there are no tickets for the North American J-Hope tour
None yet.
legitimately on sale right now. So if you are seeing them on whatever website you're seeing on them, they are not real.
Hot scam.
And
it's
trust
either
me
a
when I
total scam.
say, because I went through this with the August D tickets, there is going to be a lot of people who are going to be trying to take advantage of people during this whole time frame. So I would just really recommend that you do your research and don't fall for anything that seems too good to be true at this point. Okay, so be smart.
We're
The
working
tickets
on
have
it.
not gone on sale yet. So it's either a complete scam or it's somebody who thinks that they're going to get a ticket and then give it to you.
Yeah.
If they don't,
Yeah.
it is impossible for them to have the tickets right in their hand right
Yes, it is
We'll be
impossible.
certain
So
that- it's impossible to be certain that you're going to get any at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Speaking of, that segues nicely into our
Should we talk about tickets first?
Sunday discussion. What is
We're going to talk about tickets.
what is Yoongi next week? Who put that there? Are you is this the
Stop.
blog?
It's just a reminder.
It was just a reminder that
okay.
we're having next week.
Cool. Yeah. So we're going to talk
So
about
should we
ticketing.
Yeah.
And
Let's
should we talk about
the
ticketing?
overall question.
ticketing.
There was a lot of hurt feelings and frustration and disappointment from armies and countries that are not going to get visited on J-Hope's tour. And we totally understand that. To be clear, we are not telling anyone how to feel. You are allowed to feel frustrated, disappointed, sad, let down. You are allowed to feel all of those things. What I think we all agree on is that it's not okay to go to the artist and put those feelings on them.
Right.
That's not okay. And we saw some of that happening. We've seen a lot of that happening, actually. And it really made us wonder, like, why? Because it's kind of happened a few times now. We've seen it with other K-pop groups. It seems like for some reason they're not going to Europe in particular, and the European armies are asking why, and we're asking why, because they're saying, do they not care about Europe? Do they not? They're asking all these questions, and we're like, that there's no way. Like, if everybody's money is equal, if they could make money doing it, they would go there. So there must be
Right. And Wembley Stadium is one of their favorite memories too.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, so we're like, there must be legal, financial, logistical. There are reasons, and we don't know what they are. And we were trying to figure out, like, how can we learn more about this? Because there have to be reasons. So that's where we started from. So I started chasing down people on Twitter. Doc started chasing down people she knows in the industry. I'll tell you what I found because it's less detailed, and then I'll let Doc take over. So I saw somebody on Twitter claiming that they work in the entertainment industry. So let's take this with a huge grain of salt on. Somebody who claims they know something on the internet told me.
Right.
They have been around Twitter for a while. They do seem like a competent adult. They were saying in particular that their experience has been that the overall costs in Europe are higher for everything from housing, food, transportation. So the overall costs are much higher, and that artists and distributors are not able to raise the ticket prices high enough to make it match. They would have to charge, the example they gave was, we would have to charge twice as much for a ticket in Europe, and there would be riots. So that's one piece of information. And then I'll let Doc take over now.
So I went to a few, like more than one of my friends who are in the entertainment industry in some way, shape, or form. And a couple of them in particular that had in fact gone on world tours, either as a performer with a group or as a headliner. And in their situations, I had noticed that when they had gone on world tours, they had avoided Europe and the UK, and they had gone like sold out Asian tours, things like that. And so I approached them. I'm like, hey, can you explain to me why you guys didn't tour there and did the same thing I'm seeing other groups do? And so I got a myriad of answers back from these different people. And the big ones were cost. So first was cost of living, just the hotels, the travel, the food. One of them said, I quote, just getting our cast to Europe was the cost of a small house in the United States. So that's a cost they would have to make up in ticket sales once they get there, is the actual cost of a small house. And then another one was logistics. So in Europe, they can get the Schengen visas, but they also have to get the ETIAS authorization. And if they're planning on making money over there, they have to get work permits. All of those expire inside of a rather short period of time, but like the logistics. And then if their tour lasts longer, then they have to renew those for everybody with them. And then if they're going to go into the UK, they also have to get creative visas, like creative visit or creative worker visas in addition to, and they have to get work permits there. It's like really intensive amounts of logistics. And you're like, okay, yeah, so that makes sense. I get that. But also, like, you know, some of these big groups have entire employees designed to do those logistics. So, you know, obviously that's not the main hurdle that they're facing. It's yet another hurdle that they face. And then there was the production side. And so one of the things that I was completely unaware of until I started asking them is these venues in a lot of these countries, the majority of them, still function on what I was told is called a four-wall venue style of rental. So like, instead of saying, hey, we're going to come into your venue for these nights and then you're going to sell the tickets and then you take the rental from our venue and then pay us what's left. That's what a lot of these places are doing. Over there, they have to pay the entire fee up front.
Yeah.
So they're renting the four walls of this location. It's something that hasn't been done in the United States since like the 1970s. And so their production team has to pay 100% of the costs up front of the tour.
And can I also say, interject here, sorry. I was going to say, in Europe also, the information we both got was that you have to book venues much further in advance, possibly a year in advance. So you're having to pay this huge fee up front a year in advance and have no revenue against it that whole time. You just have to sit on that loss. All right, keep going.
Yeah, they don't get paid until the tickets are sold. And then I was told that it varies from venue to venue. It's not like all tickets are sold through Ticketmaster or whatever, and then that changes things because they take a fee. Anyway, absolute like chaos to where most of them were saying, actually everybody I talked to, because they had avoided going into these places on their world tours, were saying that because of all the logistics and the cost and this upfront four-wall venue system, the amount they would have to charge for tickets is like, you know, if it was $100 ticket in the US, they had to charge like $300 in Europe to make the same amount of money. Plus there was the risk ahead of time because if something happens and that venue gets canceled, they've already paid for it. So they have to eat that cost in other areas of their job, their work, their whatever. In other, activities. And so that was the main, responses I got back from more than one of my friends, and that had gone on tours and attempted to do tours in these areas. And these were the reasons why they personally chose not to. Now, the thing, that I did hear a lot was because of the way the venues are rented, it's a lot safer as a performer if you join an existing event, which would explain why we're seeing a lot of these artists who will show up at festivals.
Yes.
Who, show up at the gala. I'm not going to pronounce it again because I butchered it the first time.
Lollapalooza in Europe.
Yeah, so you see a lot of these artists who don't do tours in these countries and in this region who will go to like Lollapalooza, they will go to music festivals, they're going, like J-Hope is joining a gala event.
Yeah.
But he's being paid to attend and he doesn't have to do the production risk behind it. Yeah, Coachella would be another
And
good.
there are a few groups that are touring in Europe this year. I can think of Stray Kids and TXT off the top of my head are both going to Europe. They are big groups, but think about the fact that none of their members have been in the military yet. So their people have had a lot longer to plan the logistics of these European tours that they're going on. We don't even know if Hobie was for sure planning this before he went in the military. This could have been something that came up at any time. That when he started hearing that people wanted him to go on tour, this could have been something that happened as last minute as maybe even like a month or two before he got out of the military, and then they've been like planning it, and he has this very short window time frame to tour, and so he has to go where it makes the most sense for them to get the best results for this tour. And so that is probably a very, I would say, a specific reason maybe for him, plus when you think of everything that Doc just told us.
Yeah, and I'm thinking back to the big tours we've seen. The K-pop artists that are touring in Europe, and somebody tell me if I'm wrong, the ones I can think of, they're doing the Europe dates towards the end of their tour.
Yes.
Or like 2/3 in. And I wonder if it's because they have to start getting the money from the first part of the tour to pay for the Europe stuff up front. And like Taylor Swift and Coldplay, like there's these mega tours and they're doing the Europe dates like 3/4 of the way through. And I wonder if that's related because they have to make the money up front. And so, yeah, we also want to say, like, please don't take it out on Hobie, because like I am 100% sure that this is not his solo decision. He says, I want a tour. They put a team on it and say, these are the dates we can get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I say, so somebody said this has been planned before he went into the military, like you, first of all, we don't know for sure anything. Like, I mean, it may like ideas have been like thrown around, like the idea of a tour existed, I'm sure, before he went into the military, but planned.
Yeah, we don't know when they booked these. He may have said, I want to do a tour when I get out, and they may not have booked the dates until he was almost out.
None of us know.
Even if they knew that he was going to do a tour, he still only had limited time to do it. He had a date that he was leaving the military, and he had a date for Festa.
Yes.
Right.
And
Right.
we also, I mean, it's like we also need to be happy because our Latin American friends, Mexico is getting a tour. It's getting a concert. It's getting concerts. So like
The Philippines.
our Latin American friends, at least Mexican friends, are gonna get Hobie, which is great.
And Hobie is making a concert. He is going to France for this festival. So I think that that's probably his compromise, because he knows.
Yeah.
I mean, he so very sweetly just yesterday went on Weverse and he was commenting on a bunch of people's posts who were saying how sad they were that he wasn't coming to their country, and he took time out of his day to go and comment on those posts and tell those people that he loved them and that he wished he could be there and he would come back when he could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's all. Just reiterating, we're not telling anyone you don't have to feel sad. We're not saying you have to be grateful for the live call. Like, feel how you feel, but don't get mad at Hobie. We saw people putting out petitions. We saw some stuff that was really hurtful.
Quite nasty.
Right. Because at the end of the day, too, remember, he's an artist. He is not the production team putting all their money on the line. And so he has to convince the production team to be willing to take certain risks. And so, even the company is not necessarily the producers. Producers are their own entity. Producers are producers. These people who produce these big tours and big productions are their own thing. You have to
work for the
you have to give them a business proposal, and they have to agree with it and jump on it. And so, there's a lot more that goes on, more than just, J-Hope saying, I want to be in Europe. Because if he could just say it and have it happen, it would.
Of course he wants to see Army wherever he can. He has said, they've all said that. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Something else. I'm sorry. Something else I was reading was that, so in general, the artist doesn't contact the country or the venue and say, hey, I want to come perform there. Usually a promoter reaches out to the artist and says, hey, I want to put you in this venue. And what I was reading is that there are some really, really big promoters in the US who help organize that. But in Europe, it's a lot of smaller ones. And the biggest one apparently went under for some reason in the last couple of years. And I was reading somebody, you guys know Jessie? What's one of her songs? Jessie, she's this K-pop soloist.
Oh,
Gum,
Jesse.
gum, gum,
The
gum.
rapper, yeah,
Gum,
yeah.
gum, gum.
Yeah, apparently she got taken, or her company got taken for a ride in France. Like the promoter, it was either a scammer or they took her money and ran away. So like, there's a trust issue with trying to find people to trust with your money, and yeah, it sounds like it's just not the best environment from their perspective, which sucks. I hate that for European Army.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
if
And
by
it's also
chance
not
you
Army's
did pay
fault.
all that money up front, and for those venues, let's just say, when you're in a smaller tour, you have to do a lot more to make up for the losses should they not
Yes.
come true.
Mhm.
When you're doing a lot of huge tours in huge stadiums, like BTS will do when they return,
Yes.
then you
Yeah.
can spread that possible loss out much farther, and the risk isn't
Yeah.
as great. So I think that's also a big part.
Right. And if you think about this being the system that's in place for a lot of the world, the loss that BTS themselves experienced when the MOTS tour had to be canceled was probably mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like actual loss of actual money that still had to be paid because they booked the venue. But
Well, and they had built sets, they had paid staff, they had paid dancers and crew, and all those people had been paid for all the pre-work.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to throw out there too is I was talking to somebody, and it's like it's not just like the cost of things. Can you imagine trying to move sets and people and all of that to so many different continents in a span of like what
Days.
8? Yeah, I mean,
Days.
no time. I mean,
Days.
right. Thinking now about how much we feel like these guys got out of the military and they got to work too much. I can't even imagine the load that would take on him to try to do that and jump around that much.
Yeah.
And then turn
Yeah.
around and start doing it again in possibly 6
mean,
months.
right.
You also have to
because
consider. No, we talked about this before. You also have to consider for Europe, you have the European Union, which has the Schengen visas, and then you have like the UK, which is a separate country, requires different visas. If you consider as the cost of visas for artists to come to the United States was raised last year. I actually read it in the news. It is more expensive to bring artists to the United States now, but they get more return of investment because it's only one visa for multiple venues in just one country.
Yes.
And when you do that in Europe, it's, you have to like spread it out. Yeah. And you have to go to different places and everything. It's more and more costly. So,
For different countries.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then even if you're not performing in a certain country, if the place you are performing is in a landlocked zone and it may not be so feasible to get like cargo planes there, then you have to ship in your stage and you have to pay visas for people to truck it across to where the country is that you have your other visas and your other permits and your other everything. So
I mean,
it's just a lot of logistics.
Well,
I mean,
even in
wait.
America, I think people lose sight of the size of America. Like even the size of America, going from location to location is far. I mean, I was telling somebody, look, for me, I'm in central Oklahoma. I mean, I'm in the middle of America. 19 hours to LA. It's 19 hours to New York. It's 11 hours to Chicago. I mean, and they're having to make those between each show, like each weekend. So again, it's a lot. It's not like these just because we're one country that all these places are close together. That is not.
I mean,
Yeah.
but in Europe, it's different countries that are closer, but also you're crossing, if you're an international citizen, if you bring a bunch of South Koreans to Europe, you're crossing like the border. I mean, and you still have to have all the permits and all the stuff and this and that, because if you're a European citizen, you don't even need your passport to cross the border. But if you're from another country, you do. That's the end of the story.
Right, and then they have to work permit, and they have to
Don't lose
prove
your
that they have
passport
the
like Namjoon.
authority, and it's a logistical nightmare.
Right. And I have to say too, can I just interject too? They do have also this time around for Hobie's tour, they have Yoongi's tour as an example of what worked and what didn't. And so I'm sure that the logistics team was very interested in hearing, the pros and cons of what Yoongi did, because it's almost exactly the same type of formula, right?
I'm
I
sure
think
he
they
left
added
the
San
note
Antonio
I
and
mean,
Mexico City, right?
He left a note
Right.
book,
like us.
basically, and Hobie just
It's
picked it
like
up and went, here.
it's
Yeah.
like us saying we're going to Kansas City again this year because they already did it with Yoongi, so they kind of like know how to do it. They might have added a couple more places, and that's about it. It's like they are trying their legs with this solo
With the
tours.
time that they have, they're using a formula that already worked.
Mhm.
And I
Right.
think they had
And
other Hive groups go to some, like I think TXT did San Antonio, didn't they? I'm not sure about Mexico City.
They
Yeah.
did not go to Mexico City, but I think that they.
No.
I don't know if they went to. No, they did. They did go to San Antonio. They did. They went to Texas.
They went to
They went
Texas.
to
Yeah.
Texas.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I
we did.
also want to believe, probably too, in my head, that Yoongi also sat down with Hobie personally and said, listen, mentally, physically, emotionally, ecumenically, like this is what this is what you can handle. Like,
Yeah.
trust me, bro.
Yeah.
This schedule right here, this is what, because we know.
Well, and
It was JK Sutrata where he was talking about I'm laying out this tour, like I'm laying
Right.
it out as a blueprint for the rest of you. I did
Yep.
this so for the fans and so that you guys would know what to do if you decide to go on your own tours.
Right.
Right.
So
And if you look, so I spent quite a bit of time looking at his schedule because I knew Yoongi had added a tour date, or I was looking at other artists who, if a venue fills up, they add a tour date. And so I was looking at J-Hope's schedule to see what would it look like if he added a tour date. And what I realized when I was looking at it, especially for North America, so I can't speak entirely for the Asian countries, but for the North American tour, he is basically giving in general, he's giving half a day to tear the stage down, drive time to the next venue, and half a day to set that stage up. And that is all the time he's giving his crew to move that. And I've seen a bunch of people who are mentioning, well, why doesn't he just have more than one stage crew? Because these stages cost 6 to 7 figures. These are hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars being spent on the stage,
Doc.
lighting, sound crew. They can't easily double that.
Doc, to
as
your
you guys
point.
see.
To your point, I was in the second day of the D-Day August D tour in New York City, in Belmont Park. By the moment that Yoongi walked out of that door, all the crew came out and they started putting the thing apart. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember it because my kid is into production and they were like putting their eyes on the stage to see what was going on. And we saw all the crew coming out and like literally start put the thing apart. So, yeah, they just work around the clock.
And a lot of armies were filming the caravan, the Yoongi caravan of semi trucks running that stage from one venue to the next. J-Hope's tour is smashed really, really tight as far as physical drive time from one venue to the other. Because when I started looking at it, I was like, okay, these ones are only 2 days apart, but the drive time's 10 hours. And these ones are 4 days apart, or 3 days apart, but the drive time is like 28 hours. And so, you start looking at actual drive time for these semi trucks, and they're not giving themselves full days to tear these sets down and load them up in these trucks. And then somebody had brought up, well, why don't they just cargo plane them to the next place? That would mean that they would have to load them in a semi, drive them to an airport, unload them into a cargo truck, fly it somewhere, load it back into a semi, drive it. So at that point, most of these venues, you can just drive.
Sounds gives me
It
nightmares.
makes more sense to just load the semi, drive. And then when he gets into the Asian tours, he's giving a 5-day run, and that is most likely because he has no choice but to use cargo planes or cargo ships to move that stage. So they're going to have to put him in a semi, drive him to the nearest port or airport, load them onto whatever's hauling them to the next place, and vice versa once they get there.
Well,
So,
and for example, for the Chicago show, the night before his concert, they have a hockey game in the exact same arena. So that has to be taken apart. Then he's got to show up, build his, do his 2 nights, take it down, get out of there so that the sport can, I mean, it's all like, it's a very sophisticated dance. And I think,
so, yeah.
These are things that
And
people
then
just don't think of all the time.
Yeah, and then locations on where is he going, like inside of North America, where is he going? A lot of that is dictated by his short timeline. He has to find a venue in this general vicinity, this many days between this place and this place. And so like the absolute logistical nightmare of this particular, the tightness of this particular tour is mind blowing.
It's going all the way until June 1st, you guys. All the way up until June 1st. That's his last already scheduled date.
And if you consider the schedule that they must have figured out for when the rest of the guys come out, he doesn't have much time. I mean, it's like he finishes the tour and then the guys are coming out in a few days. And they want to put out a new album. They want to put out a world tour. He doesn't have time to go to more places.
Remember how sick Yoongi said he was at the end of D-Day? And like how he just basically needed, like he crashed out and needed to like decompress and rest and recover. Like Kobe basically gave himself 2 weeks to do that before Festa.
Okay, do we?
Festa stuff starts the Monday or Tuesday after the tour is going to end. It will be the start of Festa drops, like the way they do.
I meant like the actual like anniversary.
Yes, like the actual event. Yes.
Yes, but Festa does start at the beginning of June. So he's ending his tour, and it's like, woo, Festa! So he's gonna be like, go! It is Hobie, go, 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 go.
yeah.
Anyway,
This man is
Patricia, do you want to talk about ticketing?
we're going to talk ticketing. Okay. So, first of all, I want to tell everybody that is panicking because of tickets and tickets and tickets, and they're selling them here and there. Like Hobie would say himself, calm down, my daughters.
Calm down, my daughters.
That first.
The house of Bangtan.
And now that we're all calmed down, let's proceed to tell you how it, calm down, my daughter. I'm seeing it in the comments already. There's the process for D-Day tickets, which I went through, and I know Christina went through, but she even did PTD, but I'm going to talk about this. So first thing that you...
Really quickly, because I've seen this pop up in the comments like over and over again already. We do not know when North American tickets are going to go on sale. They have not announced
We
it.
don't know.
No clue.
We don't know.
Stay tuned.
We don't have an insider. We joke about Hannah. We don't have anybody in Hive that has given us the information. So this is based on the process followed for D-Day concerts. It might change, but this is how it was done for D-Day, okay? So we know there's a notification coming. There's a notification coming that we got for D-Day as well, but it has been postponed because of the fires in California. So this notification is going to give you kind of like the process to register for a pre-sale code. So last time for D-Day, to register for the pre-sale code, you had to have an Army membership. So the Army membership, you have to make sure that your name is exactly the same name that you have in your ID. It can be your passport. It can be your driver's license. And then with that, with the Weavers membership, you're able to register for a pre-sale code in Weavers. But for D-Day, you also had to register in Ticketmaster. So you had to register in the two places. And the names and the information has to match. So be very, very, very careful, because if you put your name or certain name in Weavers and it's different than your ID and it's different than the one on Ticketmaster, it's not going to work. So you have to register in both. You had to register in both. Once you register for the both for the pre-sale code, and that will last for probably, I think for D-Day was like a couple of weeks that you had time to register for that pre-sale code. Once you register, not everybody gets a pre-sale code because there's too many people that register. So there's a lottery. So if you have multiple friends that have an Army membership, all register for the pre-sale codes, because it's like getting numbers for the lottery. If you get a pre-sale code on the morning that the tickets become on sale, which will also be in the notice that you get from Weavers, okay, which we haven't gotten yet. Come, my daughters, come. It's not there. It's not out there. Once you get that pre-sale code will get to you on the day the tickets become available. I think that it comes on an email and an SMS. I got an SMS. I remember a message on my phone with a pre-sale code. With that pre-sale code, it will, when you get on Ticketmaster to get the tickets, it will ask you for that pre-sale code and you will have to type it on the screen. And you would get put in a queue. And that queue has a lot of people. You can open multiple windows on your screen. So you can look at different concerts on different screens. Some tips: decide where in the arena you want to sit beforehand, because things go really fast. I mean, like the tickets for August D disappeared in 15 minutes. So you have to check which part of the arena you want to sit and select the tickets there. I remember I selected 2 tickets on one part of the arena. When I went to pay and press the button, they were already gone. So I had to go back and find 2 more tickets. So it's really quick. You put you select the tickets. Make sure that your Ticketmaster account has your credit card information or your payment information in, because you don't want to be typing numbers. Nope. You're not going to have time.
Think about
if
Weaver.
it's saved, yeah, you have to like click and just like, and have also your Army membership number handy just in case they ask you to type it, because I've heard that some people were asked to type their Army membership number. I don't know how sure is that, because I never got asked that, but you know, make sure that you have it there just in case. And you know, it's like the only thing that I can wish you is good luck, because there's a lot of factors, and don't wait for general admission. They will announce a time where you will get access to general admission, but all the tickets for BTS usually sell on pre-sale. So you're not going to get the opportunities if you work for general admission. So make sure that you are ready for pre-sale.
So,
and that's kind of my speech.
Katie, you had your hand up. Is it still relevant?
Yeah. I did want to say the one exception we're aware of to the make sure your name is spelled the same on everything. If you have special characters in your name, including a hyphen, we did see somebody on the Discord server report earlier that they wouldn't let them make their Weverse membership with that. Leave it out.
Yeah.
It will not let you go forward. So leave that out. Or if you have accent, you know, if you have a name from somewhere other than the US, a non-English name, just be careful with that. But otherwise, make sure it's first. If you go by first and last, first middle initial, that's what we're talking about.
So Patricia was basically talking about what happened when she bought her D-Day tickets. So be aware that not every single step she said will automatically apply. It could be exactly the same. It might not be exactly the same, because that was 2 years ago. So there could
also
be
somebody
things here or there.
Somebody has a good point in the comments. Pre-notify your credit card company that you're making a big purchase, because they might deny it and they will think it's fraud. So like, please call your credit card company beforehand and tell them, I plan to charge a huge amount of money in my credit card, so they don't block the charge.
It is the more you do ahead of time, the easier it's going to be. Like getting that stuff into Ticketmaster.
Speaking of notifying your credit card, another issue that showed up today in the Discord is if you are trying to get tickets to, if you're in the US and you're trying to get tickets to a non-US venue, you have to have your credit card set up for international purchases. So it, like, somebody, their credit card was just fine if they were going to try to purchase from one of the places in the United States, but the minute they tried to change inside their Ticketmaster to one of the venues outside of the United States, suddenly it wouldn't take their credit card. That usually means but your card has not been authorized for international use. So in that situation, you need to call your credit card company or your bank and make sure that you are in fact authorized for international use, or PayPal is one of the safer methods if you're doing international purchases. And PayPal is kind of embedded into the Ticketmaster software. They like PayPal. They work with them a lot. They actually have a PayPal button, so you can register or log your PayPal into your Ticketmaster. So much like Weavers, it's just click, click, click out. So you definitely want to make sure your payment system is in there, and it's one that is viable for the country in which you are purchasing your ticket.
Yes. I use PayPal all the time. It's so easy.
Yeah.
What else? But yeah, basically, this is how it worked last time. The one Hype tour we're aware of, which was CXT, since then, you did not have to do both registrations. So I would say the biggest thing is turn on your Weavers notifications, because that's where you're going to get it. When you get the Weavers notification, read it fully, sit in a quiet place and read it, and then go start at the top and read it again, because they're going to give really detailed instructions. We're planning in the Discord to read it and go over it like in a video call or something like that, but just that's the best thing you can do is read the steps and then figure out what you need to do those steps.
Yeah. Read it, then read it again. And if you still have questions after you fully absorbed it, come to your Army and ask.
I mean, we talked about this, admin. I'm gonna say it here. Once the notification comes out, we'll probably do like a meeting in the Discord to kind of go over the notification and kind of like discuss how to get tickets and like see if we understand everything correctly. So if you have any questions, you can always join in the Discord and we'll be there to kind of help you out.
And there are people too. There are other people that give advice, you know, that have been to several concerts before, and you might hear conflicting advice too. And so it's going to be whatever's going to work best for you in your situation. So, for example, I get into this argument with people who bought multiple tickets before. They're like, no, use your phone, not a desktop. And I'm like, listen, I do not want to trust such a joy in my life to a screen this big. Okay. Yeah. I'm not doing it. So you'll hear people say things like, oh, do it on your phone versus your desktop. Like, there's going to be some things that people tell you that it's just going to have to be personal preference. Yeah. I have purchased successfully 2 sets of tickets to BTS concerts on my desktop. It's worked for me just fine, but it's a preference.
What you should do is do an internet speed test on every device you have and every internet connection you have. If you have home and work, pick the fastest one.
Yeah. So
science it.
And if you have multiple screens, better, because you can open multiple windows.
Desktop and your phone, whichever one happens first.
So you'll hear that. You'll hear conflicting people's preferences.
Do not panic if you enter a queue and it says that you are number 30,000 in the queue. Do not panic.
Right.
People drop out. Things happen. A lot of people who are at number 30,000 in a queue, will end up getting tickets. So just don't panic if you're number like 20,000. Like, that doesn't mean you're not going to get in and get your tickets. Do not refresh that page, because if you refresh, you're not getting tickets because your queue resets. So once you're in the queue, do not refresh that screen. Just watch that number drop.
I was actually reading, somebody said basically sometimes they'll let you like pre-queue, like get in the queue ahead of time. Apparently the order that you actually get in the queue is not the order you are in the queue. They randomly assign you a spot in the queue. So like, don't think that logging in 2 hours early is going to get you to the front of the line.
Yeah, no.
You don't have 2 hours.
It's designed to be as annoying as possible.
Yeah. There's another tip
Can I ask a question? Like, if there's 30,000 people in a queue for you, those 30,000 people are being divided amongst every place, right? They're not.
Correct. Yeah, I think it's all the tickets for all those shows for the artists go on at the same time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
There's another tip that I want to give. if you want to know what the view is from your seat, you can go and search view from my seat and your venue, and you will, there's a bunch of websites where you can get pictures of how you can see a concert from the exact seat in that venue. So that's a good tip because it can help you figure out how far you're going to be from the stage, get a slight idea, and just like pick the right location for you.
We do recommend buddying, like if you have friends that you want to go with, buddying up. Trying to buy tickets in groups is easier, especially if you have multiple pre-sale codes that you're working with and different people are like, it's like safety in numbers, basically. You have more chances of getting tickets. And don't, one of the biggest things I can really recommend is if you have a large group of people that you want to go with, don't bank on everybody sitting right next to each other and just happy hunky dory. Like, split yourself up into little groups, and if you guys are kind of in the same section and near each other, that's great. As long as
You will still have fun.
You're still gonna have fun.
You still have fun.
Yeah, as long as nobody's sitting by themselves. But even if you are sitting by yourself, you're going to be surrounded by army, so you'll still be having fun. But we know you want to sit next to your friends. I would just recommend not trying to get seats for like 8 people to sit together. Rather, maybe do like 4 and 4. You know, it's less stressful. It's easier to secure that amount of tickets versus the larger amount of tickets.
Yeah. And I see other comments saying, you know, so and so's account has advice for buying tickets. You're going to see a lot of advice. It's going to start to make the rounds
And
where
if you don't like
everybody.
what somebody else says versus us, sorry.
Yeah, I mean it's completely completely your choice. So yeah, but I'd say the number 2 things that I saw people get frustrated with and that didn't provide good results, was they didn't read and they didn't stay calm when something popped up on the screen that they were confused about, you know, and then they hit that refresh button and it's like, no, honey, you got to stay calm and you got to read. Okay. Those are the 2 things and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's going to be okay.
So yeah, we had a lot of people. We have in our Discord, we have set up a section where we can talk about the tour. It's called Hope on the Stage, and it is a sub-thread under Hobie's channel in our Discord. And so we're trying to keep most of the concert talk concentrated there. One, to just make it easier for everyone to get answers, since it's not like going around in multiple channels and threads, but also like to try to keep FOMO down for people who know that they're not going to be able to go to the tour. So we have that. We have our Discord thread for Hope on the Stage. We also have Katie set up a forum section in our Discord server for the separate dates. So we also have a place where you can go and you can talk to people who are planning on going to the same venues that you are going to, the cities, I should say, the cities that you are planning on going to. We have a lot of people coordinating groups, figuring out accommodations, things like that. So if you don't have anybody to go with and you want people to go with, that's the great place to come and check out, is our forums where we have the concert dates listed by city. Because a lot of planning is happening in there, and it's a really great resource for finding people to go with and or just getting more information. I think a lot of us who are we're all planning on possibly trying to go to different places, but I think half of us are talking Chicago and half of us are talking New York, essentially. And that New York, that Brooklyn thread has been popping, man. Has been popping.
My apartment is going to be popping.
Brooklyn.
Can I answer this question real fast? It's been asked several times. Angelita, you just go to armyproject529.com/links and you'll see the Discord option there. Click on that and that will take you to our Discord to join.
Yeah.
I wanted to just say it because I can't type it fast enough. So there you go.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, even easier, ap529.com.
There you go.
Yep.
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 What else? Yeah, I'm not going at all, so none of this affects me. I'm going to try to help my friends get tickets if I can, but I can't. So
Katie's going to be like real close to baby time by then.
yeah, I have a high risk pregnancy, and I'll be like 35 weeks pregnant, so I am not allowed to travel.
We did bandy about the idea of, you know, having the baby at the concert, and it would be legendary.
Yeah, we
But
did.
in the end, we decided no.
Safety.
I did ask Doc if she could perform a C-section, and she said she was not comfortable with that. Sadly,
So
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
I was all
So-
down for an assisted vaginal delivery, but not a C-section.
Which imagine if we ended up on a jumbotron. I'm just saying.
And by the way, if you don't, for those of you that are new, Doc is an actual
Scam.
doctor. That's why we're saying that. She's a real doctor. So in case
I
you
would
didn't
not
know,
let just anybody cut me
you're
off.
joining us for the first time and you're like, yeah, I don't know what they were. She's a doctor. In real
She's
life.
a doctor. She's a real doctor.
It says Army Hag gives birth at K-pop concert.
Names the baby Hobie.
Although I do want to be the person to give birth at a K-pop concert.
You would pretty much be required to name her Hope.
I mean, yeah. Hope Arson would be a
Hope
fantastic.
And my
Hope
toddler,
Arson would be a fantastic name.
my toddler recognizes J-Hope and has been talking about J-Hope for days.
J-Hope was the first one she recognized.
Yeah, J-Hope was her
That's
first.
so cute. That's
Yeah.
so cute. Aw.
Our little tiny
Baby
J-Hope.
Hope, that would be so cute, right?
Oh my gosh, Baby Hope would be great.
Aw.
Somebody said J.
Katie, put it on the list.
Short list. Put it on the short list.
Put it on the short
I was gonna
list.
say, we don't have a middle name pick.
Hope is always a great middle name.
It is a great
Hope is a great middle name.
Or Jay. Jay for middle name for a guy.
Actually,
Oh.
my husband's father's middle name is Jay, like Jay,
Mm.
which is like J-Hope's alter ego.
It is his alter ego, yeah.
Oh.
For those of
Yeah.
you asking, this is one of my 3 kitties. This one is Princess Jin.
Yes, Princess
Oh.
Ah.
This one is Princess Jin the kitty.
Mm-hmm.
She's taking up my ability to type. I can no longer respond to you guys because she stole my own.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey, you me, bitch."
She's like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not looking at me or petting me, and I need you to be.
But you know, it's the excitement of this is great. Enjoy the excitement, even if you're not going. You're not planning on going. You know, please, you come yell with us in the Discord because it is exciting.
Yeah.
And we will be getting new content, new army stories, new videos will come out. You know, it's just an awesome time. And even if you're in a city where there is a concert and you're not at the concert, there will be army all over the place.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And like, one of my biggest regrets seeing Bangtan in PTD Vegas was that I didn't go to Vegas early enough to just enjoy being an army around other armies in person.
Yeah.
And I cut my vacation too close to the actual concert time and I didn't get to hang out because yes, the concert is the focus, but just being around other army and the energy, and it's so much fun. And people were, you know, going to Korean barbecue together and they were shopping together. And it feels like a carnival when there's a bunch of army around. And so to me, even if you are not going to the concert, try to find some other people that you could hang out with and say hi if that's your thing, because it's super fun. And the atmosphere, immaculate. Vegas was so cool.
You know what we didn't even mention in all this excitement about the tour? We didn't even mention that we're getting new music from Hobie.
Yeah.
He
said
we don't
do
know
something.
we don't know exactly what yet, but he posted on Instagram a video, and it says I forget what it said exactly. It was like new music or something coming soon, something like that. A new dream or something like, I don't even remember, but it was just like a little quote. But then it just showed a bunch of footage of him, presumably a lot of it was when he was in LA. Recording, we saw P-Dog. So we know we've got new music coming too in conjunction with this tour. Now, we don't know for sure, but we've been predicting Hope on the Street Volume 2 for a long time. You named it Volume 1 for a reason, my friends. I'm just saying. You named it Volume 1 for a reason, but it could be anything. But we do know that new music is coming. He pretty much told us. So we've got new music coming from Hobie too, which is awesome. Awesome.
We have people asking if we are going to do our own like watch party live stream of the live streamed concerts. We have not really discussed that yet as a team because we don't know what dates they're going to be. You know,
We don't know yet.
So for those who are asking if those of us who end up at the concert are going to be live streaming from the concert, my answer is no, personally, because I plan on experiencing it. So I probably won't have my phone out the whole concert because I'm more of an immersive experiencer. And so, you know, I personally won't have my phone out the whole concert, so I won't be live streaming it. But you know,
I don't think
a lot of Army will be
live streaming the concert.
Of Army will be live streaming that concert during it.
Not us.
Not us.
But it will be us.
Now,
We'll
if you're
be-
talking about around the concert,
We'll be doing-
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, like when we get there, when we're in the town, we're gonna be live streaming off and on the whole time.
Yeah, probably.
And I think, do you want to talk about the live streams of the live streams that they're going to be doing? The answer is we don't know yet. We want to see the information.
Yeah.
Yes, eventually. We don't know exactly when, especially because they're 3 to 5 a.m. our time.
Yes.
Even
That was
earlier.
the other. Yes. We did get some questions, as Katie was just referencing, as to whether we would stream the live stream in our Discord of the concert. And yes, the answer is we don't know yet, or we don't know when and or how. We need more information.
At a minimum, we'll stream a recording at some point. We're sure somebody will have a screen recording, but the rest of it is up in the air. And then I saw somebody ask a while ago, what about the California dates? As far as we know, Oakland is fine. As far as we know, the LA venue is fine, but we don't know anything else. It could change.
Yeah. That's
And that's-
why.
Oh, do we want to talk about that? Sorry.
What?
yeah, Katie, I would like you to talk. Yeah, you would plan
Yeah,
that.
it came up briefly. We did we got a message.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, first of all, we were so proud of Hobie. Like, it was very frustrating to have the leaks come out and be like, big hit, where are you? Like, what's going on? And we didn't understand why this was happening the way it happened. And then once they came out and said, the reason we delayed this was because of the wildfires in California. He obviously just spent several weeks there. He probably met people, made friends, probably had friends there already. So I think it was personal for him. And then also out of a very deep respect for people affected by a tragedy. As we saw, they went on a whole week-long media blackout for a plane crash. As a country, they went on a whole media. So it's part of their culture to be respectful of that. So yeah, it was frustrating, but we completely understand it. And we're very sad. We know we have people in the Army community in general who were affected by this, and probably in our AP529 community. And we're thinking of you guys and we're checking on you. Yeah, so we hope everything's okay. We were asked if we were going to be organizing a donation drive, and the short answer is no. But if you are interested, because a lot of people have asked us, how can we help? There are many charities you can help with. We would encourage you to find a reputable charity. The biggest one we can probably recommend is Red Cross. Red Cross, I believe California has a specific one.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's where we recommend going. But as a project, because we get a lot of requests for, can we do a donation drive? Can we do a fundraiser? Can we do this and that? The decision we've made as a project is that we only do BTS related charities, basically.
Yes. It's just much easier on a larger scale.
Yeah, because otherwise it's, well, why not this one? Why not that one? It's like, but there are ways you can help. If you ask us, we will try to help you find them. That's what we can recommend here. If you are called to do so, if you have the means to do so. And also, so nice of Robbie to delay it, number one. And number two, to come and put a message on Weverse in both Korean and English. That was so sweet of him.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like,
That was
it wasn't
notable for him.
great. He typed in English.
Yes. Yeah. And so a lot of people have been talking about hotels. hotels in LA will probably be a tight situation because there are people who have no homes right now.
Yes, I would. If you're planning on going to LA and or maybe even Oakland, think outside the box as far as accommodation goes. You know, if you have people you can stay with, or you know, alternate, you know, kinds of Airbnb situations. Somebody said camping, rentals, something like that. You know, just kind of think outside the box and think about the people
Yeah.
who need it a little bit more, perhaps. You know?
Yeah. No, let's take a step back. There are people who are having a much worse time than you.
Yeah, for sure. And we still don't even know if they might change venues. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't think that they have space to change dates, but it's possible that they will take those dates and do them in a different venue, out of either respect or logistics, or if we don't know if there's going to be damage. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. So again, we have just told you everything that we know. That is all we know. So just
That's all we
stay
know.
tuned. Yeah, like keep yourself up to date on Weverse. Make sure your notifications are on, like we said earlier. Make sure your Army membership is up to date. And that is not the Weverse membership. That is the Army membership. Two separate things now, because Weverse does have a digital membership, and that's not what you want for being able to register for a pre-sale code. You want your Army membership, which is specific to BTS. So you have to go to the BTS shop on Weverse if you have not already, to either purchase or renew if you're out of date. So make sure that that is current. And when the pre-sale information drops, which I assume will be the next bit of information you get, it's going to be a Weverse notification, and most likely, I don't know that it will be an email until you actually register. When you register, you will probably get an email saying whether you got one or not. But, yeah.
And in the meantime, come to the Discord and get rid of all that yucky anxiety energy, because the day that you need to do something for the tickets, you need to be freaking frosty, my friends.
Yeah.
You need to know
Yes.
no anxiety. You need to be just zen-like in you know the steps, you click the
Breathe.
buttons, you're going to do all the things and get the tickets. So come leak out your yucky anxiety feelings earlier with other people so that you can be on the ball. All right.
I would say conjure Hobie in House of Army saying, come down, my daughter. If you have to.
Yep.
And breathe.
The difference between global and regular Army, I'm not sure what you mean by regular Army. There is global and US membership. There isn't really a difference as far as like ticketing goes. Either or will count for being able to register for a pre-sale code. They had separate stores before. They've since, within the last couple of months, maybe even just like a month ago, they merged the shops where it's one serve now, and they decide if they're shipping to you from their global or their US locations if you're in the US. If you don't live in the US, I don't think you can shop in the US. But it's different now, but they still have the separate membership. They have a US, they have a global, and they have a Japan. And I think you can sign up for all three if you want to. If that makes you happy, go for
The
it.
spirit moves you. You don't get.
The spirit moves you to have all three memberships. Right now,
Army membership.
Right now, we just have a basic membership because they discontinued the merch pack membership, which is why some of us were signing up for multiple memberships before in order to get merch boxes. That doesn't exist right now. So at present, there's no real reason to sign up for multiple memberships unless you just really want to. So whatever you decide, US, global. Right now I have a global membership, but I don't have a US one because my US one expired and I'm not pressed about it right now. So, it is what you want to do. Just make sure you have, I would, maybe not Japan, but US and global, I think it's fine. Yeah, for Japan, you might need to have a Japanese address, but you can still I'm not sure. But anyway, that's the difference between that. Just don't get the Weverse digital membership and think that you're good for the preschool, because that's not how that's not what.
That's not how any of this works.
How any of this works. All right, should we get a reminder and then get out of here?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah. Thank you guys for all of your great questions, by the way. Just a reminder about the we've just been talking about the Discord. As we said, ap529.com/links is where you can find the Discord way to join our Discord. We have watch parties. I do a weekly content watch party every Thursday night Eastern time, 8:30 p.m. And then Team Europe, which is really also just Team Global, other time zones. It's like the opposite end of it's like 12-hour difference. They do theirs, not 12 hours. They do
Wednesday afternoon U.S. time, Wednesday evening Europe, Africa time.
Yeah, so it's like 2 p.m. Eastern time, and then it's like 8 p.m. Europe, Africa. So that's on Wednesdays. They do their weekly content watch party. And then we have other ones throughout the week, like we've got Bon Voyage going on with Team Global on Saturday afternoons. We've got Jimmy's Kitchen in the evenings on Mondays. Every other week we do Run Gin on Friday nights. And Steph does K-drama watchings on Saturday nights. We got a lot of stuff going on in our Discord. Yes, Christina? Were you raising your hand? Okay.
I was saying bye. People are saying bye, good night. So I was like, bye. Sorry.
Yeah, you're raising your hand.
Christina, why are you flailing?
Yeah, I know. What am I doing this time that's going to get me kicked out of this live, right?
So come hang out with us. We have a lot of fun. And throwing out watch parties. Yes. Practice safe library. Now it's you, Christina.
Okay, just wanted to mention really quick that if streaming, charting, and voting for all things Bangtan, both solo and OT7 related, is your thing, that we have a channel in the Discord. And I love monitoring that and adding new goals and things that we are going for to our webpage. So if you go to ap529.com and you go to the Connect, you will see that there's a drop down for streaming, charting, voting. What we like to do is take all the information from all the different social media platforms around related to the streaming, charting, voting, and put it in one easy place for you. Some of you don't have presences on Twitter X or Instagram or whatever other social media there is. So we want to take that information and get it to you in one spot. So come join the Discord, that particular channel, and you can also get notifications for voting reminders and such. So it's a good time. So join us in that if that's your thing.
Mm-hmm.
And talked about it earlier, the Patreon. You guys have been saying thank you for the information and teaching and going out and asking questions. We love doing this. If you would like to help support us doing this and help us do this more, you can buy from our shop, ap529.com/shop. And again, those are all designs that our team makes on products that we've been told are really, really good. We have them ourselves. We like them. Mm-hmm. And the other way you can support is with our Patreon, which is a monthly subscription, $3, $5, or $10 a month. And we did want to give a quick shout out to some of our subscribers. Hang on, had a handful of new ones recently. Yay! Let's do everybody since December 1st. Deb C, Binsky, Ann I, Die424, Snoopy, Kimberly F, Eva S, Charisse S, Lori C, Suzanne B, Chris W, Lana C, Tanya, Carolyn C, and Cher.
Yay! Woohoo!
I clapped the kitty paw.
I was
Yay.
like,
There you go.
clapping Princess Jin's paw.
Beans.
There you go.
I'm totally clapping Princess Jin's paw.
Yay.
Yes, and I hope you guys recognize yourselves. It's my policy to never read anybody's last name. So
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So tonight we have our new blog dropping week 54 at midnight. It is called A Special Life, An Ordinary Life. And it is our second week of January, and we will be talking basically like 2017 through 2020, including D2, his second mixtape. So that's been fun.
Your kitty purr. I heard the kid. Listen, that cat is a paid actor, or should be, because you mentioned Yoongi and you hear a cat purr. That's fantastic. I
Yeah.
can't top that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's living her best life over here. Tell you what.
Oh yeah.
She's just
Okay,
like,
and then coming up Wednesday night, we have our live over on YouTube. It starts at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, under Army Project 529. And then again next Sunday, unless they take us down, we'll be here.
the 20th, right? They said the 20th?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
next
the night.
Sunday,
We might be here, or we might not be here.
Yeah. So
next
if
Sunday is the
it-
19th. So that's it could be our last one on.
We could be literally in the middle of a live and have it just
The unfold.
Armageddon.
It's supposed to come down on the 19th, so
Oh.
we might not even make
Okay,
it.
well
this
then we might be here, we might not be here.
Yep.
We'll be somewhere.
Surprise.
We don't know.
If it's not here, it's on YouTube. Follow our project account on YouTube.
Yep.
Also, I think we probably will. I started seeing some of it today, but I think we're going to go around and we're going to start adding more of our socials to things so that you guys can find us on other platforms, because we are on other platforms. It's just we started on TikTok, so you see our TikToks most often places. But yeah,
Yep.
who
All
knows?
right.
It'll be an adventure.
Who knows?
Who knows? Not us. Thanks, guys.
Wonderful. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Buddy,
you.
hey, have a good night.
Good night. Good night. Bye bye.